Jesus freak here. First things first. I had some people comment on my video from the No Kings protest yesterday, and they were like, look at that Trump derangement syndrome. Weren't y'all the same people who kept saying, pray for Obama, Psalm 109:8, and let's go Brandon, and thinking it was cute and thinking we wouldn't figure out what you meant? Okay, I'm going to move on. More important things to talk about, but on the same general topic. Now, I'm a firm believer that the state and the church need to stay out of each other's business. Now, I've had people say, oh, the words separation of church and state aren't found in the First Amendment. First of all, I know Thomas Jefferson has associated the concept with the verbiage of the First Amendment, and I believe James Madison has done so too, and who would know better what the First Amendment means than James Madison? Second of all, word Trinity isn't in here either. It doesn't make it less true. The idea is. Alright. My attitude is to try to support a live and let live attitude at the government level. And if I do tend to feel like this is threatened by someone who fancies himself the American Kim Jong-un, that's not an exaggeration. As it so happens, we have foundational documents that are meant to keep the president in check, as well as to keep Congress in check, and even to keep the Supreme Court in check. And, you know, if they ignore those checks, I won't say there's nothing we can do. But as it so happens, lower courts at least aren't ignoring those checks, and are doing what they can to hold Trump's foot to the fire. Now, remember what I said. Most of you people complaining about Trump non-supporters, and I say that very specifically because, for one, I am not a Democrat, so, you know, I'm saying, and oh, it's the demon rats. No, it's not just Democrats. Okay? Like I said, y'all were going on about, wishing death on Obama and making snarks about F. Joe Biden and thinking we didn't know what you meant. Historically, the church hasn't been very good with power. problem that we've inherited from the Pharisees before us and the Sadducees. We tend to want to mix our civics and our religion, and that doesn't work very well. Some people think the best approach to take is non-intervention. Okay, if that's your approach, that's well supported. Be in the world, not of it, right? And some people manage to keep things separate. And some people, they're willing to find a balance between having their faith dictate how they feel the government should be run and figuring, it shouldn't really matter. And I'm usually going to say, what am I going to say? I'm going to say, what have I to do to judge them also that are without? Do you not judge them that are within, but them that are without God judgeth? We can criticize our own. In a way that I don't really think we're supposed to be criticizing those on the outside. It's like, we don't even know that they're part of our faith, that they should be beholden to our rules, to hold them to our rules. I mean, sure, the world should be little o Orthodox Christian. Frankly, right now it ain't. And it probably never will be until the second coming. But I think Paul was trying to separate the church from state powers as much as they could in the very next chapter after what I quoted. When he's talking about lawsuits, he's saying, and how dare you, if you have a quarrel against another Christian, against your brother, why are you going to court? Can't you deal with this yourselves? And Paul sees getting the government involved in our affairs as a bad thing. You might say, well, what about us controlling the government? You know what happens when that happens? You get crusades. Let's not forget the separation in the church, the division in the church. Every group that thinks they're the one true church and everyone else is a bunch of liars and phonies. Oh, Christians got the reins of power now. No, we don't. The New Apostolic Reformation is not Christianity. It only has the veneer of Christianity. And yet, they think we're a bunch of fakes. You don't think I understand that if these people had actual power beyond the limitations that Trump has, and beyond the limitations that has from they would have to go through him. They have to use him as a figurehead because they don't have any power of their own except for maybe those who are in Congress already. You don't think they try to do something about other Christians? About people who aren't charismatics? About people who believe that the authority of the gospel supersedes their feelings? About people who believe that God said everything he needs to say and isn't giving people random new pronouncements or rewriting the Bible through some guy named Brian Simmons? Or hiding some 22nd chapter of John on us? I'm not making any of that up, by the way. This protest that I was at yesterday wasn't, oh, it's a bunch of Trump deranged. It's people who see the threat of letting someone gain power they're not entitled to, and who seems to idolize Adolf Hitler. It's about who's going to keep him in check if the rest of the government doesn't. Oh, he's supporting Christianity. No, he's not. He's supporting the New Apostolic Reformation. You know who his spiritual advisor is? You know who Paula White is? She thinks she can control angels. She thinks wherever she walks, God is. That's the original heresy from Eden. And, ye shall be as gods. And it's all over the New Apostolic Reformation. She sucks up to Trump, and Trump sucks up to her. It's that whole network. Paul White, Kenneth Copeland, Jesse Duplantis, Daystar Media. They're all caught up in that. They sprinkle it with a veneer of Christianity, think y'all be duped, and accept them for Christians. They'll never tell you anything about what the point of Jesus' first coming was. Some of them outright deny that there's a second coming unless we cause it. They make God a genie in a bottle. And you want to cede the government to them? I've said it before. I don't engage in the politics I do because I don't believe, but because I do believe. And I'm going to stand up for what I think is right. And I don't believe that we should take the reins of power because, frankly, we can't handle it. Jesus, freak out.